just list for us the disruptions? I mean, how shared are they? So that our viewers have a sense of what disruptions are coming ahead. It's a very good checklist for the other nations, I think. So tell us more.
So we covered the automation one. So again, big, huge change to the labour market, and it has already started. Never mind, is coming. You just need to go into your local supermarket, go to your local car mechanic. You're seeing machines and humans, dare I say it, working much more closely together already, and that will only increase in terms of pace. The ageing one, so what we see is a reduction in the numbers of younger people coming through, and roughly that will see tens of thousands of fewer 16-year-olds coming through the system in Scotland, and thousands less in Northern Ireland. And at the older age group, again, you see some really significant increases, not just between working age and non-working age, so much larger proportions of pensioners looking ahead, but within the working age, you're also seeing demographics hit, particularly hollowing out that middle part. So we'll have large numbers of younger workers, we'll have large numbers of older workers, particularly as the pension age increases, but not that much in between. And then beyond that, in terms of disruptions, you've got globalization and what's happening, all around us in terms of Brexit, in terms of Donald Trump. You have likewise climate change, of course. It can almost be overlooked, despite being in many ways the most important of them all in terms of what we need to do to adapt. And beyond that, just general economic disruption and political uncertainty. And in Northern Ireland, you can see very particular elements of that with the power sharing and devolution currently in suspension, and in Scotland with independence too. So you can see the political uncertainty, the economic, the sort of global disruption that's happening, but there's some particular things happening in Scotland and Northern Ireland that the skills system needs to be there to anticipate, to respond to and to prepare for.
I think that's what I enjoyed most about the research report, bringing everything together in one place, because we all know bits of that. And I mean, I wondered if in the different countries that was the same, that we all knew our corner and its impact. But to see it together, I mean, the world is calling out for some working together on good decisions. And I mean, I think it's a really important report for that. So having done that, having spoken to people, I mean, maybe you could say a bit about, how close in design are they? Very, very different skill systems, and there's an advantage to one more than the other. I mean, firstly that, I think, but then just tell us a wee bit about the response from the different systems. So are they nearly the same skill systems, only in different ratios?
So in Northern Ireland, well, in general, I'd say they're not the same. There are similar attributes in both, but not the same. For example, in Northern Ireland, you've seen a much more flexible system still, whereas in Scotland, it's been a much more a system that's been focused on young people deliberately, and for good reason. Over the last 10 years, youth unemployment has dropped really significantly in Scotland, and you didn't see the scarring youth unemployment that you did see in the 1990s through this recession that we're still recovering from.
And they've been open about it as well.
And they have, and it's been a political and a government priority. That's not been quite the same in Northern Ireland. You've still got, of course, a focus on young, but much more flexible system. Likewise, you've got some historical differences. So in Scotland, HE is, I think, around getting close to 30% of HE in Scotland is delivered through colleges. Now there is a much higher proportion in Northern Ireland than in England more generally, but still it doesn't reach those levels as in Scotland. But I think overall, if you're picking up themes, Scotland has become less flexible, more focused on full-time, more focused on young, and also FE in particular has become much more of an academic route, so that around about 3/4 of qualifiers from FE, rather than going into a job, go into further study in HE, which is not a bad thing by any stretch, but it does show you that the system is focused on that.
And is the HE in colleges much more higher, technical, vocational, professional? I mean, they're not studying the classics or literature, or are they?
Well, there will be a range, but the HNCs and HNDs do have to be designed with employers. So they are, by their nature, standalone qualifications that are very useful for people's future. But articulation, so that's a term used in Scotland, less so outside of Scotland, but it's the process of moving from HE in college into a degree study with advanced standing. Given Scotland has a 4-year
for good work.
Oh yeah, hopefully no time off in between, but yes, time off if you need it for good work. That has been a much stronger feature of the Scotland system than in Northern Ireland. I think counter to that, the themes from Northern Ireland are that they've really used their colleges in particular well. The larger merged colleges are stronger. They've gotten into some of the territories that actually usually are the preserve of only universities, so higher education research and research and development, innovation work and boosting productivity, all of that. The colleges have a role in Northern Ireland in a way that I haven't seen elsewhere in the UK. So you can see the strengths in both, there's good foundations in both. In Scotland in particular, there's been recent policy changes we can talk about that give good foundations, I think, for the future. But it's now about, okay, you've got those foundations, what do we build on them?